Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for your presentation, and thanks to the folks who have written and talked about this. And I just want to talk about the history of I'm going to go meta and then I'm going to go micro. And so first, one of the most persuasive folks who talked to me before and who's here today, and I'm glad to see him in the audience, asked if you could be at the table when folks were debating smoking, what would you do in that situation, and how would you interface with that conversation, knowing the destructive nature of tobacco smoke in our culture. And that was really potent for me to think about, because I know that smoking kills 500,000 Americans a year, much more than any illicit drug by volumes. But I've been thinking more about that conversation and what rooms I could possibly be in, and what I contribute to the rooms and the spaces that we exist in, especially those that relate to things like the stigma around cannabis use, the history. So I think about when someone said we should prohibit cannabis, I am pretty sure that it had a connotation of those people. We want to punish those people. And I know what those people means, and I've been learning in my life how to reduce stigma for all of those people who are at tables and who are excluded from tables and who have been criminalized and kept away from tables because of their criminal histories, which is part of the spirit of this legislation in our state, to reduce that stigma, to change how we see folks who have prior experiences with cannabis, how we interface with it and how we think about it. And that reduction of stigma, that power of education that can happen, I believe in. And so I think I just want to talk about, like, thinking about what it means to set up arbitrary barriers, thinking about what prohibition means in the context of prohibition in our history, and what every step toward prohibition suggests is that we want to control someone else in a way that will maintain a stigma that we're trying to reduce. And so for me, I think I have evolved, and I continue to evolve, and I keep reading what folks say in their emails to me and in public spaces, and including cannabis retailers, including folks who would like us to not have cannabis at all in our communities. And I can't help but think about that table. 1937, I think, is when cannabis was first made illegal, and the context for that was increasing the ability to deport people from Mexico from the United States. And Councilor Flores is really the person who last time reminded me of this history. So all of that to say, I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate our ongoing conversations about how to think about this. And I'm considering which table I could be at, and I respect the idea that we could of criminalization of certain people in our society. I'd much rather be at that table and stop that at the moment. So I will change my vote today from what I did before, and I realize that that's not popular with a lot of the folks that are in my district and that have sent me emails, but just so you know, I've been thinking about it in all of those contexts since then.